Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bob's Odd Jobs, where we really just try to fix things and make things a little better. If things are broken, it's always better to fix it rather than buy new. Today, we're actually working on Opolar battery-powered fan. My wife actually bought this fan for our son when he's in the stroller. Sometimes they get really hot. And this is a great fan because it has these legs on it that you can manipulate into any sort of direction you want. We kind of wrap them around the stroller for the little one, and it's got a couple of speeds on it. It's a great fan. It has good power, and the battery lasts a long time. But today, my wife had it on the stroller, and one of the legs broke off. So this is just a simple fix. I'm going to use liquid epoxy that you just mix them together. You make an epoxy and I'm going to glue this in. Epoxy is something that everybody should have in their toolkit. It's definitely can fix a lot of things. The other thing about this fan is there's these little rubber legs that fit on the bottom of each of these malleable legs. They pop off really easy. That's a choking hazard. So instead of gluing these things on, I'm throwing them away. They're garbage. So we'll go ahead and we'll glue this other leg on, and then we got a perfectly working fan. So I'm just using just a cold weld epoxy. I'm pretty sure this one's it takes about 24 hours to dry, and I've been using these types of liquid epoxies for a long time. Whenever I want to fix something, they're quite simple to use. The best way to mix it together is just make a small line. I don't need a lot for this job, so the small line of one. Small line of the other, as long as they're about the same. You know what, that one looks a little bit bigger, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more white one. So now I've got two lines, and I'm just gonna take a toothpick. I'm gonna mix them together. You just want it all completely combined. The one thing I've always thought about epoxy is it smells disgusting once it's mixed together, but it works really well. It's one of the hardest glues you can use. So I've got my liquid epoxy set up, and you can see it's kind of thick, it's kind of gooey, and this will dry into rock hard solid. I've got my leg here, and I've already taken a look at how it hasn't actually broken off. I've kind of found how it goes in here, you can see. And I'm just going to put my epoxy on here now. I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy in the actual hole itself. That way I know. And then I'm going to take a little bit more. I'm just going to put it on the end of this. Now I think that might be a little bit too much. Maybe I'll take a little off, just to make sure there's a good even coat of it on there. So take my epoxy leg here, and I'm just gonna find that, press it in there. Okay. So I'm gonna let that sit at least for 24 hours. Every epoxy is different. You can get ones that last 5 minutes. You can get that set in 5 minutes. You can get ones that set in 2 days. This one doesn't actually say. I'm pretty sure this was a 24-hour epoxy. I like the epoxies that take longer to dry end up being harder epoxies than the ones that only that will set in 5 minutes. So you want if you have the time, go with the longer dry time epoxy. And so that's it. That's my fix. That's my fix for the Opolar fan. It's a perfectly good fan. Things break, fix them. Don't throw it out. Get it. Just simple jobs, simple fixes. Save some money, save some energy and time, and it's good for the environment. Use what you've got. So that's another edition of Bob's Odd Jobs. Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.